In today's world, technology has become a major portion of everyday life. People in nearly every career are required to have some knowledge of computers and software. Advancement in technology has placed professionals in a high level of confidence in different fields, in addition to creating desired results which benefit organizations and professionals alike. Indeed, the world has become a global village as information now travels faster from one part of the globe to another. In Ogun State, the Prince Dakwa Abiodun-led administration set up the Techhub to serve as a knowledge platform where citizens can connect, share, build new skills and competencies to solve local challenges that improve the quality of life of its citizens.
Our plan when we came in, for us to truly digitalize the state, we needed to lay some foundation and infrastructure. When it comes to ICT, without the proper infrastructure in place to build on, it will be difficult to actually achieve some of the value proposition that it can bring. So the governor was very kind enough to first of all invest in what we call our data center. We spent a lot of money ensuring that we had our own data center. That enabled us to be able to host all state applications, databases, and IT infrastructure in a secured environment, where in addition to that, we ensure that in order for us to have internet across the state, there's a project, the 5,000 kilometer fiber project to the 20 local governments. The second phase of that plan is to have fiber connectivity to all schools and hospitals and public places, so that members of the state can have easy internet access. And if we can help it, even free, so the connectivity to the schools and hospitals will be free. Not only that, the government, ministries, departments and agencies as well, we have been deploying Wi-Fi connectivity. And the idea is to ensure that all our ministries, departments and agencies have internet access, and that should increase some of our activities, knowledge and exposure of our civil servants. So with all this in place, we can start to say we're on the road to truly digitalizing the state.
Recently, the Techhub, in partnership with Kubo, a US-based online university, organized a workshop for school administrators and principals with a theme, Fostering STEM Education Competence for Schools, at its headquarters in Kobakpe, a suburban town of the state capital. The Special Assistant to the Governor on Information Technology, Mr. Olakunle Akimbola, spoke on the essence of the program.
It's important that the principals, these administrators you're talking about are principals of schools. It is important that we engage them so that we can bring them up to speed on what the government is doing when it comes to ICT. We can bring them up to speed on the ongoings at the Ogun Techhub over here, the partners we have, but most importantly, to have a stakeholders session of people from different aspects of the tech community. We have software developers, we have people, venture capitalists who fund software development. But most importantly, the idea is to engage the principals so that they can add a lot of what we do over here to the curriculum of the school in terms of informing the students on what is available that is outside the school curriculum.
He explained that the workshop was supposed to help acquaint the school principals and administrators with programs offered at Techhub so that they can also empower the students in acquiring skills on ICT.
This is the beginning of, bringing them up to speed on ICT in general. This kind of sessions we're having is helping them with their ICT exposure, with their ICT knowledge, and to encourage them as well, from a personal point of view, to engage us at the Techhub so that we can help them to help their fellow students in achieving some of the goals of this administration in empowering the youth and empowering the students to have the necessary skills that they need in order to be able to be useful when they finish their education.
While delivering a paper, the guest speaker and founder of Kibo University, Ms. Okpe Bukonla, explained that jobs were being reinvented and the future of work was uncertain. Therefore, students in her view had to be prepared with prerequisite skills and knowledge on ICT.
Back in the day, the way we worked hasn't changed very much. So if you look back 100 years, factory work, it looks pretty similar. Similarly, this is a very old lecture hall, but we can all probably imagine maybe the technology is a little bit better, but we still have a lot of lecture halls that look like that today. But what's coming next? What's going to be next are things like the metaverse, where students are going to be learning using devices like virtual reality, where you can be in your classroom in Abeokuta, but having experiences from different places. When I was at Google, we worked on a product called Expeditions. So students would put on these glasses, like the one on the left there, and you could, from wherever you were, explore a different part of the world. So we would take students on safari. You could take them to the Great Wall of China. You could bring them to Nigeria, and they would, in this virtual reality experience, actually get to walk around and have virtual field trips and explore places. And that's just the beginning. There's so much happening in terms of what technology is enabling when it comes to learning. And on the same side, the technology is also changing how we work. So one of the things that people worry about are the changes that are coming in robotics and how we are starting to develop machines that can do so many more jobs than used to be possible. So artificial intelligence, machine learning, we're building machines that are quite capable of working and doing a lot of work that people used to do.
She maintained that the future of work required that learners be prepared technologically to harness opportunities and jobs online.
Jobs are disappearing. What's really important to keep in mind is many more jobs are being created and many new opportunities are being created as long as we're ready to harness them. So this is a quote that I think is very interesting by the founder of a technology company, where he said, software, technology is eating the world. In the future, every company will be a software company. And that's already happening today. You might say, oh, we're a bank, but banks actually employ more software engineers than anyone else because somebody is building, the ability for us to transfer on our phone or USSD or whatever, or hospitals. Hospitals are employing an increasing number of tech people to do the work that they do. So work is changing fast. The second thing is work is becoming more and more decentralized. This is a trend that sometimes people will call it the gig economy, meaning you have to prepare students. Back in the day, you got a job, you stayed with your one employer for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. Now, you're going to have many different jobs with many different employers.
Bukonla further explained that strong foundation in ICT will be needed in teaching, while some trends will also be applied by educators to prepare students for the future.
The future of work is global. I've already been talking about that a little bit, right? Because as I've been saying, with remote work, people can be here working for companies all over the world. And even just thinking about my own experience and how global the teams I've been on. You know, when I was at Google, I was in New York. I worked with people in California, a lot of people in Hyderabad, in India, in Zurich, and Switzerland. The previous company I was at, we had folks in New York and Lagos. And now at Kibo, we have team members in New York and Lagos. Shion, I forgot you. Abeokuta should be on that list. I apologize. But also, you know, in Dubai, in Toronto, in Canada. So we have to prepare young people to have cross-cultural fluency because they need to be comfortable working with people all over the world. They need to be comfortable expressing themselves in writing clearly. They need to be comfortable using these tools that facilitate remote work.
We caught up with some principals and school administrators who shared their thoughts with us on the importance of the program.
The program is a timely one coming around this time. I'm sure the majority of us who are seated there will have been one thing or the other. At least we can talk about the 21st century principle. Something that I read about on this about 4 or 5 years ago. And I found out that it's now being used. It's one of the things that was mentioned here. That talk about collaboration, talk about communication, talk about creativity and critical thinking. That is what the modern education needs. We need to, those days are gone when students are taught rote method. Now we need to help them to explore their intelligence. You know, students learn more when you put them together and they work on their own. Then in doing this, they think out of the box. And now that we have some students, due to this issue of global communication, these children can stay in their various homes and through their parents' phone or laptop, they can explore the whole world. That means the teacher himself will not be forced to be on his toes. The school administrator himself will not be forced to be on his toes because there are so many things that these students learn. So for you to match them, you need to be ahead of them. So this training has actually opened our eyes to some of these things. And that's why I said it's a timely program.
From the first speaker, Kibo, I was able to pick one or two things as regards the future of the children we are educating and the need for us to prepare them to meet that future. I believe that if we try to involve technology or adapt technology to teaching and learning, the children will be able to meet up with the challenges ahead. And the fact is that the lady is saying the truth. There is nothing we are doing now without technology. And so the earlier we get these kids to know how to do it, even if we say we are not taking it into the education system, the children will pick the system and use it wrongly. So adapting it into the school system will help direct or redirect the children's focus to something better, and then they maximize their skill.
I give all glorification and adoration to our good Lord for bringing this kind of a program to limelight at this moment. Actually, we have a long way to go, and the journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. I want to believe with a workshop like this, I want to believe we can actually get to where we are going. It's, foster, a way of improving our education program and all every other things as regards the education sector. And it talks more about ICT, that is information and information technology and all that. And we are made to understand that technology is moving the whole world and is moving everything. And if you are not ICT compliant, you might likely to be left behind. And we just have to make sure at all levels, we should make sure we introduce it to our younger ones, Then at the same time, we continue to monitor them in order to make sure they're actually learning what we want them to learn.
Digitality is the life for tomorrow. So I heard about it just 2 days ago, and I had to take permission to be here because I believe as a trainer, as an educator, you need to be digitally sound to be able to communicate effectively. And as just what we've learned in there, collaboration is a key skill for the future.
This is Ogun State. Let us continue to maintain our goodly nature by doing the right things at all times. Pay your taxes regularly. Dump your refuse in designated places. Live happily with your neighbors. Let us continue to make Ogun State great. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Ogun, àjọṣe gbogbo wa ni.
Road construction and rehabilitation is a legitimate expectation of the citizenry, which no government will ever attempt to neglect. The Prince Dapo Abiodun-led administration has since inception constructed and rehabilitated over 2,000 kilometers of roads all around the state. As we speak, more roads are being approved for construction and rehabilitation, while work continues on those upon which construction and rehabilitation have commenced. Commuters are already making full use of the Kuto Bridge and IBB Boulevard down to Ibera Police Motor Traffic Division Station Junction.
Ṣé rí olórí ọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ béèrè yẹn ọ̀rọ̀ wà lórí ẹ̀ torí pé bí fọ́ọ̀kan tó ṣe ọ̀nà ń tójú àwa onímọ́tò ń rí bí báyìí àgàgà wa tá à ń dúró gbèrò ní Kútọ̀ dọ́ọ̀sì rẹpẹtẹ débi pé at least àwa kankan ti fẹ́ sàkó nù gáràjì yìí pé dọ́ọ̀sì yẹn pọ̀ jù àmọ́ nígbà tó ti wá ṣe ojú ọ̀nà yẹn tó ti wá dọ̀dà sí ṣe ló dàbí pé àwa nìkan ni ìjọba ṣe títì yẹn fún. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ọmọọba Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún pé lágbára Ọlọ́run lórí ìtẹ̀síwájú wọn. Wọ́n rántí yẹn sọ pé ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn àjọṣe wa ni pẹ̀lú ògo Ọlọ́run gbogbo àná la tún jọ máa fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ lórí pé kí nǹkan lè dáa torí pé ẹ̀dá tó bá ń ṣiṣẹ́ dáadáa tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ rere tó dáa mọ́ tójú wá rí.
Additionally, the much talked about Lafenwa-Randa Road, which has been a nightmare for commuters and residents alike, is receiving massive attention from the Ogun State government. We also caught up with road users at this point for their comments and observations.
A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ bàbá wa gómìnà wa olóríire ọmọọba Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún fún iṣẹ́ takuntakun tí wọ́n ń ṣe lórí ọ̀nà yìí. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn gidi gan-an, Ọlọ́run á túbọ̀ fún wọn ṣe, wọ́n á ṣàṣeyege, wọ́n á ṣàṣeyọrí. Ọ̀nà yóò wúlò fún wa púpọ̀ gidi gan ni tí wọ́n bá túbọ̀ parí ọ̀nà yìí fún wa tán a máa gbádùn ẹ̀ gidi gan, gbogbo ọmọ ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn ló máa gbádùn ẹ̀ lápapọ̀. So a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn gidi gan fún ìfọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀, a dẹ̀ ń fẹ́ kíjọ àwọn èèyàn wa kó fọwọ́sowọ́pọ̀ pẹ̀lú wọn láti ṣe àṣeyọrí.
A dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gómìnà wa, wọ́n ti ń bá wa ṣe ojú ọ̀nà wa yìí, ṣùgbọ́n kọ́ ló máa fún wọn lọ́wọ́, kọ́ ló fún alágbára àtẹ̀mí gígùn àlàáfíà láti parí ojú ọ̀nà wa yìí. Tí wọ́n bá parí ẹ̀tọ́ àlàáfíà náà ara fi lò ní àdúgbò tí a wà yìí. Wọ́n náà bá ṣe kọjọ tó lọ kọ́lọ́ ti bá ṣe kíákíá ní wọ́n ti ń ìgbìyànjú wọn Ọlọ́run jákújáká sọ ọ̀nì rí wàhálà ọ̀nì rí dààmú àwọn àwọn afẹ́ àgbà fún àwọn afi lò ó àtàwọn táwọn ẹgbẹ́ ládùúgbò yìí náà.
Gbogbo bí wọ́n ṣe ń ṣe títì àpṣètì aláìkí ẹ̀ à ń kíjọba Ọlọ́run bá máa ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ lílọ bíbọ̀ wọn kò ní bàjẹ́ bọ́dẹ̀ ṣe ń ṣe yẹn àwọn náà ní kábàámọ̀ pé àwọn ti ṣe. The
road is no doubt a very important asset to the state government, not just because of its access to the ancient Lafenwa market, but its link to towns and cities in the Ogun West Senatorial District and the international highway to neighboring Benin Republic.
Aki bàbá wa tí wọ́n jẹ́ olórí oko, bàbá wa Dàpọ̀ ọmọ Abíọ́dún, wọ́n kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun. A kù wọ́n lórí ọ̀nà yìí nígbà tí wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé ọ̀nà yẹn wọ́n tún stop láàrin kan àmọ́ nígbà tá a pè wọ́n ọjọ́ kejì ni wọ́n ti jí gìrì náà ti wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní bá wa ṣe ọ̀nà yẹn Ọlọ́run á dúró tì wọ́n, Ọlọ́run á kún wọn lọ́wọ́ lágbára Ọlọ́run á gúnlẹ̀ ayọ̀ ogun tó mọ́ wà lọ́wọ́ wọn èṣù ní gbàdánù.
Such is the impact of the nature of interventions with regards to road infrastructure under the administration led by Prince Dapo Abiodun, to the extent that social, commercial and economic benefits will accrue to the benefiting communities when completed, while mobility of men and material will be enhanced. Ìgbéga ìpínlẹ̀ Ògùn, àjọṣe gbogbo wa ni.